Have you ever said something, and the moment the words left your mouth, you wished you could pull them back? You felt it in your chest, that tight, heavy feeling, like you just handed someone a weapon, and that weapon was made from your own words. Most people never figure out why their life keeps falling apart. They blame bad luck. They blame others. But the real reason is something they do every single day. They speak too much. His name was Daniel, 26 years old, smart enough to know things, but not wise enough to stay quiet about them. He worked in a small office. He had friends, he had opinions, and he shared every single one of them. When someone made a mistake, Daniel pointed it out. When someone shared good news, Daniel found a way to make it about himself. When he was angry, the whole room knew it. When he was hurt, he said things he couldn't unsay. He thought talking made him strong. He thought being loud meant being heard. He thought silence was weakness. He was wrong, and life was about to show him exactly how wrong he was. One afternoon, Daniel's manager gave a promotion to a colleague, a quiet man, a man who barely spoke in meetings, a man Daniel had secretly laughed at for being too shy. Daniel felt it like a slap. His face went red. Right there, in front of everyone, he said it out loud. "This isn't fair. I work harder than him. Everyone knows it." The room went still. His manager looked at him, not with anger, with something worse, disappointment. That evening, Daniel went home and stared at the ceiling. His phone buzzed, a message from a friend he had argued with last week. He had said too much in that fight, too. Now that friend was pulling away. He thought about the girl he liked, the one he had told everything to, too fast, too soon. She had gone quiet on him. And his mother, she had tried to share something personal with him last month. He had interrupted her. He had given advice instead of just listening. She hadn't called since. Daniel lay there in the dark, and for the first time, he stopped talking, even inside his own head. And in that silence, he heard something. The next morning, Daniel walked to a small park near his apartment. He sat on a bench under an old tree. There was an old man there too. He was just sitting, not on his phone, not talking to anyone, just sitting with a small cup of tea in both hands. He looked peaceful, deeply, completely peaceful. Daniel watched him for a while. Then, almost without meaning to, he spoke. "How do you do that?" The old man looked at him slowly. "Do what?" "Just sit, without doing anything, without saying anything." The old man smiled. He didn't answer right away. He took a slow sip of his tea, and then he said, "Watch the tree." Daniel looked at the tree. It stood completely still, not moving, not making a sound. "That tree has been here for 40 years, the old man said. "It has survived storms, heat, winter, people carving into its bark. It never argued with the wind. It never complained about the rain. It just stood, and it grew." Daniel looked at the tree, really looked at it. For a long time, neither of them spoke, and somehow, in that silence, Daniel understood more than he ever had from any conversation. He went back to work the next day. Different. Not loud different. Quietly different. When his coworker made an error, Daniel said nothing. He fixed the problem and kept moving. When someone talked over him in a meeting, he let them. He waited. He listened. And when he finally spoke, 2 sentences, the whole room turned toward him. Because silence had given his words weight. He called his friend that evening. He didn't explain himself. He didn't argue. He just said, "I spoke without thinking. I'm sorry." That's it. No long speech, no list of reasons, just honest words, few and real. His friend was quiet for a moment, then said, "Thank you." He called his mother, too. This time, he didn't say much. He just asked her, "How are you feeling, Mom?" And then he listened, really listened. She talked for 20 minutes. When she was done, she said, "I feel so much better." He hadn't solved anything. He hadn't given a single piece of advice. He had only been silent in the right way, and that was enough. Here is what Daniel learned, and what most people spend their whole lives never understanding. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is power, stored and controlled. When you speak too much, you give people a map of your mind. They know your fears, your anger, your weak points. But when you are quiet, you become something people cannot easily reach. You become someone people begin to respect. Every word you hold back builds something inside you: discipline, calm, clarity. And the words you do speak, they land like stones in still water. People feel them long after you've left the room. The wisest people in history were not the loudest. They were the ones who knew when to speak, how much to say, and when to simply let silence do the work. Daniel still talks. He still laughs. He still shares. But now, before every word, there is a small pause, a breath, a moment where he asks himself, does this need to be said? And sometimes the answer is yes, but more often than he expected, the answer is no. And in that no, he finds peace, he finds strength, he finds himself. There is a version of you that speaks less and means more, that stays quiet in chaos, that lets actions carry what words never could. That version of you is not far away. It's just one breath of silence away. If this story touched something in you, like it, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe, because every week we bring you stories that don't just fill your time, they change the way you see your life.